Hello everyone and welcome to Cinderful Gaming. I hope you're all doing well, I hope you're all staying safe, and most of all, I hope you're all fighting out war against the Grey. Today's video we're going to talk Star Clicking Kings of War Ambush, and today we're going to take a look at the Forces of the Abyss army. Now, Kings of War Ambush is a brand new way to play Kings of War. It focuses on players' smaller games with more terrain on the table and less units to really help it be, a more beginner-friendly game. Now, in this video, like I said, we're going to look at the Forces of the Abyss army box set. We're going to look at how we can use this box set to start an army for the game, obviously using the Forces of the Abyss. Now, in this video, we'll talk through all the units inside the box set before looking at some other units we can use to expand our army with, and then finally finishing off the video with a little 750 point army list for you to use as some inspiration for starting your own Abyss army for the Kings of War. Now, with this box set, we first of all get 40 lower abyssal flame bearers, all with command. Now, these are pretty much our standard sort of demons for the army. Now, the lower abyssals have a melee of 4+, and defense of 4+. They have Fury, which is a really nice rule, and regeneration of 5+ there as well. This is a pretty solid, set of rules. They're going to be really sort of fast and hard hitting. With the Fury special rule, while wavering, they can still declare a counter charge, and then the regeneration ability. Now, they've got access to something called a Sacrificial Imp as well, which is the army-specific upgrade. Once per game before the unit rolls its regeneration, you can say they will use the Sacrificial Imp, and they can reroll all failed regeneration die. The Sacrificial Imp is then, sacrificed and disappears, so a pretty cool little upgrade. Now, the other option for the box set is the Flame Bearers. These are our ranged infantry unit for the army. Regeneration 5+, like the lower abyssals. They've got 5 bolts of an 18-inch range, piercing 1 steady aim shot, and they can take the Sacrificial Imps as well. Their range power being on a 4+. Now, the second unit we get in this are the Succubi, and they come with the command options as well. You can choose to upgrade one to a Succubi leader, which will gain you the Pathfinder rule with varying points depending on the size of your unit. But they do have Ensnare, Fury, and Stealthy all to begin with, which are all really solid rules. Stealthy, really good at protecting your unit from shooting, potentially, especially useful when you've only got a defense of 3+. And then Ensnare, really useful once again for just protecting the unit. They do put out a decent amount of attacks with 15 attacks for a troop or 20 with a regiment. They do have a melee of 3+ as well. We then get 10 Abyssal Horsemen, and these are pretty much a heavy cavalry option. Crushing Strength 1, Fury, Regeneration 5+, and Thunderous Charge 1, all really solid, on top of a melee 3+, defense 5+, and a speed of 8. This is all, a pretty decent stat line, a really solid unit. 9 attacks come out of a troop, 18 out of a regiment. These guys will really hurt an opponent if they can get into the melee. Now we then get 3 Imp Swarms in the box set as well with the Vicious rule. They've got Fury. Now they have, melee 5+, defense 3+. They're dirt cheap though. 3 bases of this swarm will cost you 65 points. They're really good for, just being an annoyance, a hindrance, a charge blocker. Solid units to play around with. And lastly, we have the Abyssal Champion, who does have a few alternate options inside his box set. Now, he has melee 3+, defense 5+, 5 attacks. For 110 points, you're going to get Crushing Strength 1, Fury, Individual, Inspiring, Mighty, and Regeneration 5+. You can choose to be upgraded to have Wings, which will give him a speed of 10 and gain the Flying keyword, but this will cost 45 points, so really ramp up his points cost. And you also take Lightning Bolt 5 for a spell as well for 35 points. So some solid options for your leader there as well. Looking at where to go next, I think Acronis is, for me, one of the best pieces to add to your force. It's got a really cool rule called Temporal Ruptures, where for each point of damage the Cronus causes them elite, you can remove a point of damage from a single friendly core unit within 6 inches of the Cronus, other than another Cronus itself, to a maximum of 3 per turn. You can also take the Drain Life spell for 30 points at Drain Life 8. And it's got special rules: Cloak of Death, Crushing Strength 3, and Strider, with a melee 3+, defense 5+, attack being d6+6. Pretty solid monster to bring into your force. Now, Molochs are a heavy infantry, a monstrous infantry unit available to you. They've got Crushing Strength 2, Fury, and Regeneration 5+. They can choose to take Sacrificial Imps, which is really nice. And they can also be upgraded to have a Despoiler Champion gaining the Vicious Penalty and Brutal special rules with varying points like the Sacrificial Imp, depending on your unit size. 9 attacks will come out of a regiment, 18 out of a horde. Melee 3+, defense 4+, all in all, a pretty solid unit. Now looking into what I think is one of the most interesting units in the army, the Tortured Souls. They're a swarm unit. Now, they have Crushing Strength 1, Fly, Light Leech 2, and Thunderous Charge. A really interesting unit. I don't think they look on paper to be, one of the best units in the army at 9 attacks, 120 points, but I think they've got some really interesting rules. If you can get this unit sort of working right, I think you've got a really interesting unit to sort of play around with here with your Tortured Souls. And lastly, a good chaff screen, a good charge blocker, a good flanking unit are your Hellhounds. These have the Fury, Nimble, and Thunderous Charge rule. Nimble plus Thunderous Charge is a nice combo to have on a unit. They're not necessarily going to pack out an awful lot of higher quality attacks with, melee 4+, defense 4+. They do have 12 attacks though, so they're going to put out a lot of attacks, not necessarily the highest quality, but a lot of them are coming out, and a regiment would even have 24 attacks. And so here we have our sample army list for the Forces of the Abyss. Now, we've got 2 regiments in the army. We've gone with a Lower Abyssals unit. They're going to take the Sacrificial Imp for 125 points in total. And then we've got a unit of Succubi in there as well. Now, we aren't able to use all the models inside this box set. You've got a lot of points. You've probably got closer to 1,000 points of models in this box set, which is awesome. But we've shown you a 750 point list here still. Now, only using 10 of the Flame Bearers, they're going to have a Sacrificial Imp, and then a Magical Artifact for Skirmishers Boots. I think is really cool on a shooting unit, especially with an army that's looking to protect 2 blocks of regiments. This can be a great sort of, unit to harry your opponent's flanks, to protect your own flanks, and that's why we've gone for getting the Imps inside this army list as well. I think they're going to be incredibly important for being a charge blocker, for closing off lanes, for protecting the flanks of our other units. Lastly, we have a unit or a troop of 5 Abyssal Horsemen. They're going to come in, be a troop. They're going to be a nice heavy hitting piece, but also can work out on a flank and protect a flank to themselves as well. The Abyssal Champion leads the force here. He's going to be in the army. No upgrades on him, just as he is. But total points, 750 out of 750. Like I said, there are 5 of the Abyssal Horsemen and 10 Flame Bearers we're not even using in this box set at 750 points. You're easily going to get to 1,000 points with this box set, which is awesome. Like 1,000 points in a style box is amazing. Now, we've got 5 regiments and troops, 1 unlocked unit, though we can have plenty more unlocked units if we want. So you've got plenty of room to play around with what you want to bring into your force. If you've been playing with the Forces of the Abyss in Kings of War, let us know how you've been going and what you would do with the army and the army box in particular at the start down below in the comments. And so that is the end of the video. We hope you all enjoyed it. If you did, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. If you haven't already, come and join our Discord and join in the conversation there. We chat all things wargaming and other things besides as well. If you'd like to do that, you can come join via the descriptions linked to the server. Now, also linked down in the video's description is the best ways to support the channel via Patreon or YouTube members, or indeed grabbing some merch from our merch stores on either Teespring or on Ko-fi. As a special thank you to everyone who does support the channel on Patreon and YouTube members, we'd like to give you all a shout out. So thank you to our Patreons, Christian Weir, Soren, Kenny Lowe, Outer and Shot First, Andrew Bowen, Nathan Fee, The Rising 8, Q Dynamic, Anthony B, JJ Austrian, Average Wargamer, Domir, Mark Harvey, James Cater, Bloobs, Benjamin Swallows, Red Martin, Aaron DeHaven, Kevin Bowman, and Iron Grinch. And a special thank you to our YouTube members, Green Roots Gaming, Ronya, Lock Lorick, The Johnny84, David Ellsworth, Wolfric Nick, Broken Chef, Ariana Edwards, Revenar, Pink Nico Fire, Robin Mankiller, Monty Tabletop Terrain, John Castle, Davis Weir, and James South. Lastly, a special thank you to Lady Witchfox Art, who does all the amazing artwork for the channel as well. Couldn't do this without you. Thank you all to everyone for watching once again. Don't forget to like and subscribe and drop a comment down below. Stay safe, stay well, and most of all, keep fighting that war against the Grey. Ciao for now.